Catch it. How are you guys doing, and what's the progression been like over the last 48 hours or so?
It's going good. We're starting to build the continuity that we talked about last time. The more reps, the better we're going to be, and that's the main thing that my emphasis is trying to get as many reps as I possibly can throughout this fall camp. Because new system, new scheme, new players, it's something just that you got to keep repping until we get some continuity where I feel comfortable enough to roll the ball out there and let them play on their own.
When you said different system, how different is it really?
It's very similar, but like there's little tweaks that we do to almost every single play. Same concept, but maybe it's a different aiming point, a different type of technique. So that's where the reps come involved. Sometimes they go back to their old habits of things they did last year and the previous year. So you're just trying to have as many reps as possible to get that out of them.
You've seen the timing become sharper?
It does. I'm big on that. The more reps you have, the more timing, the better timing you have, I think the more success you're going to have. So,
are you seeing that to this point, do you think?
Starting to. You're starting to see Will become very comfortable with certain players and certain routes. He's starting to figure out what guys run say it's like a go ball. This guy may run it better than most people, so he understands that this guy may win deep and throw it deep. This other guy might be a back shoulder type of guy, so he's starting to figure out what type of players they are.
With past installations for you in different programs, sometimes the previous offenses have matched a bit, sometimes they haven't. Typically, when do you start to see it within the first camp that it's really starting to click for you? What's your timetable before you get concerned?
Really, this scrimmage coming up, it's about this week right now, the second week of fall camp. Because we're used to only having 2 weeks of fall camp, so I'm not too concerned about how we've kind of elongated this whole fall camp, and you got an extra week of actually going up against good on good for a little bit. But really, the second week of camp, about halfway through, when we start doing more live situations and putting them in different situations in terms of where they're at on the field, from 2 minute to coming out to red zone goal line, and just see how they operate. Once they start getting a good feel for that, I think that's when you want that all clicking, is about this time right now.
With Will, one of his attributes is just sort of improvisation, but is that hard to replicate in practice?
Oh, it is. It is. Because a lot of the times that they can't. Dana's going to blow the whistle if they start running, so they start forcing some things downfield, and then sometimes you start to develop bad habits because they know that if they take off and run or do certain things, that the whistle's going to be blown dead. So I don't really look too far into it because I know in the game they're naturally going to go out there and do their thing, but you try to just encourage them right now to just go through the progression, stay in the pocket, and get better at the current play, and just know that when it gets into the game, they're going to go out there and play ball.
What do you ask your receivers to do in those situations? Again, because maybe you're not practicing it a ton, but obviously they've got
a lot.
Yeah.
We emphasize scramble drill a ton, and that's something that Dana we took the whole staff to the Houston Texans, and just talking to some of the players that we currently have there, they talked about just when you're in pass skill and when you're in certain situations and you have the ability to scramble and keep the play alive, extend it, and we all scream out that he's scrambling, so everybody's working their distance and their spacing and working back to the ball and just try to get it where we can possibly hit a home run shot.
So does everybody have a specific thing they do in a scramble drill? If you're here, you come right back here, or it's just find open grass?
Yeah, it's tough. The way we look at it is like on scramble drill, if you got 2 of the 5 receivers doing the right thing, it typically works out, because sometimes they get caught in no man's land. They don't know where to go with the ball, or the receivers don't know where to run the grass, so you kind of teach them base rules of really get out of the way or go hit the home run shot.
What do you encourage Will